I'm trying to change it so she can't see the sex of the person.
Oh, so we're not ready.
No, we're ready. This is the shit we got to do. Don't look at me like that.
I was looking at Jasmine.
Yeah, but you're looking at her because you're thinking that
side eye.
She gets on my nerves.
Jazz, is that a new tattoo?
What is it?
I've never seen that.
Really? You just ain't been paying attention.
I guess I haven't been paying attention.
I had this tattoo almost 6 years.
Oh my god.
6 years. Yeah,
She's a little tattoo thing.
I don't know about that. I'm just tatted.
Just tat.
Yeah, I both have tats. I have one tat. I regret it.
What?
Really? What is the tat that you regret?
Me and my friends, 2 girls that I'm not friends with anymore.
Hey, me too.
We both got this thing right here, which is just like a little anchor. I regret it because I'm not friends with them anymore.
Me too.
Do you feel like, I mean, we're going to jump right in and I'll go back and whatever. Do you feel like when you get a tattoo with somebody, it's like the kiss of death for the friendship or the relationship?
No, I feel like it was already dead. We shouldn't have got a tattoo. We should.
What made you get it then?
You know, you just
being
trying
cute?
Yeah.
With your friends?
It was in Vegas. You know, just trying to do something and be like, oh, we were always going to be friends. I know we have rocky times, but we're always going to be
that's
friends.
not how you start the conversation at the tattoo shop. Jasmine and I were in Cleveland the last time or the time before that.
Both times.
Whatever. And we were trying to get tattoos. We were going to get like matching friendship tattoos.
Yeah.
But I'm so weary of it because I feel like it's low-key taboo. I feel like
I kind of wouldn't do it. I
feel like, you know, we can go get tattoos together, but maybe not like.
Yeah, not the same one.
Yeah, I just feel like it's just.
You know,
why?
Anytime I would talk to somebody, like I talked to 2 different people. We went on tattoo dates. We stopped talking shortly after.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
did y'all get the same one?
No.
Okay.
We just went and got tattoos the same day.
The same day.
Yeah. I got these with some girls. Like 2 months later, we weren't even friends.
How long was it for you after you got your tattoo that you guys weren't friends anymore?
It probably took a while. Probably like a year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
But that's pretty long.
We were friends for a long time too, since like middle school. Dang. So we were friends.
So now you guys still don't believe that my thought of the curse?
Well, I know our friendship was declining before the tattoos though, so I can't say it was.
I think there was always a disconnect in the friendship, and I didn't realize because I was so young.
Okay.
That's fair.
We just probably didn't click well.
Mm-hmm.
So you were how old were you when your friendship stopped with him?
20.
And you?
Girl, I'm about to be 32.
No,
it was not that long ago, actually. It was probably like a couple years. We've been married for 4 years, so it was probably like 6 years ago. So I was like 25.
That's crazy. It happens like that, though. Like, friendships change so much when you get older. And I've dealt with that, just feeling guilty about, like, thinking that it was something and then realizing maybe it's something different. Yeah. And then what do you do? Because just because you have history with somebody doesn't mean that you have a future with them.
People to know that.
You know, it's like, it doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life, but maybe you just don't. It's like, we ain't got to.
Yeah. Or maybe you just cut them out of your life.
Well, maybe you do. Jasmine's pretty savage. Jasmine cuts her family out of her life. So
got to sometimes.
Toxic family members, man, they'll be the death of you. So you gotta go. Fuck you.
That's true.
Did we start?
No.
No,
Okay.
I said this was just general conversation. I was just punching in.
Good.
But we'll start over. We can start from
3, 2.
All right, welcome back to another edition of It's the Disrespect. You saw it in my neck? Because it's disrespectful. With myself, MinaQ, and Jazmyn Carter. And today we have one of the most amazing guests ever. She is funny, hilarious, beautiful. I mean, she's got over 1 million followers on TikTok, over 100,000 on Instagram. I mean, thousands on YouTube.
She's the most famous Jasmine.
No, we still got Jasmine Sullivan.
Okay.
I'm talking about out of the comedians.
And let's not even get started on her stand-up comedy. Probably one of the most entertaining, hilarious, pushing the envelope, tell it like it is women you will ever meet, and just with
a
the
good
quickness.
intro. Did you write that down?
No, that's what
that's how you
just
feel
facts.
about it?
That's what I feel about you.
Wow, I
think
would have remembered all of
You're
that.
so funny. You are amazing. But Jazmyn W, everybody, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
So good. I love you guys.
We love you.
Happy to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. She is always glowing. It's
Always
like
glowing.
I feel like the days I feel like I'm looking good, and then I see Jazmyn W, like damn.
And then she smelled good, y'all.
If this was smell-o-vision.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, they do not wear makeup the way that I took an hour to get ready. These girls just wake up like this, okay?
So I put on eyebrows. Don't get it twisted.
I didn't do anything.
This is. She just can't let us. habits. You just can't.
I love you.
You're so
I love you.
But you know what? I was looking at your, I think it was on Instagram the other day, and I don't know, were they your wedding pictures?
Oh yeah.
Oh, those were your wedding pictures? I thought you was
God.
just retaking pictures.
I was like,
No.
she is just stunning. I will drop them in so you guys can see if that's okay. If you want to send them to me.
Fine.
Just gorgeous, like black
Alexa,
melanin.
play
Excellence.
Let's Get Married, Jagged Edge.
We don't have an Alexa.
Oh.
Okay.
Siri.
What? We don't have anything hooked up. I turned all that stuff off. I don't know.
Homegirl. What's that?
You are
Okay.
so silly. Well, thank you for being on this show today. So, we have been, we discuss very often a lot of the disrespectful things that go on, just dating-wise, life-wise, and I was going to share with you guys an experience I recently had. Maybe you could weigh in on it.
Okay.
So I'm relatively new to the dating world of online dating. So I keep running into this situation with women where they tell me they don't like small talk. Like, I meet them on a dating app, and then they tell me they don't like small talk.
Or
and,
questions.
Yeah, or questions. I don't like questions, and I don't like small talk. I don't understand. Like, where do we go from here?
That is the dumbest. I've heard people say that. That is the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard.
I don't understand. Like, I don't know how. What are you doing here? If we can't have any small talk, how do you get to big talk? And I was telling her, it's so frustrating to me because one of my exes, I used to, like, she was one of those I don't like small talk people.
Yeah.
So at this time I was young, I was very insecure. So I would literally go and I would read about like astrology and I don't know. I don't know. I was just doing all kind of stuff. I was reading about things in other dimensions and just things I thought would be interesting conversation. I was like, that is crazy. I will never go back to trying to fabricate a good conversation. Because if you don't like my conversation, why don't you just either don't talk to me or switch the subject matter?
Well, how do you figure you get anywhere, or you think you're just gonna jump into some deep intellectual conversation without knowing anything about a person? Like, how do you get there? How are you supposed to talk to me about my experiences in comedy, having not known that I'm a comedian? Yeah. You would get there from small talk, right?
You would.
Exactly.
Especially if we've talked for a day.
Right.
I feel like, I don't know how deep we're supposed to get.
To me, like, small talk is for, like, work.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, at the grocery store in line. That's small talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Not trying to get to know somebody to date them. None of that is small talk.
Right.
All of that is just getting to know somebody.
These are just regular questions. Here, let me tell you specifically what was said. She asked me what I did with my day. I told her. And then she said she went to work. I said, what is your job? She told me what her job was. And I said, oh, okay. Well, what do you like about that? Because she had a job in, like, some sort of probation, juvenile. I don't know anything about that. I was like, okay, so what do you like about that? What do you enjoy about your job since you like it so much? You've done it for this long time. She's like, I don't like small talk. I'm going to sleep. Good night.
Well.
Oh, my gosh. First of all,
So-
I would have blocked her.
I said the same thing last night. I was like, blocked.
Blocked.
I was like, it's small talk for me to ask you what you enjoy about your job.
Hold on. Did she say that she liked her job?
She said, she said she had been doing it for 8 years and that she just kept doing it because she liked it a lot. So I guess she did say that.
Oh, she said
And then I said, okay, well, what do you enjoy about it? Because I don't know anything about juvenile probation. I don't know anything about what goes on in that situation. What made it so that you were like, yeah, I'm just going to stay. I like doing this. I feel like that's a fair question.
That's a great question.
No, the bitch settled. That's why she don't want to talk about it. It's like, well, what do you like about it? Nothing, so I'm just going to go to sleep. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like,
that's so funny. I was telling her, like, I personally don't like a bunch of interview style questions.
okay.
But I'm aware that when someone's trying to get to know me, that they're going to ask those questions. So even though that's not my most favorite, it's not like I'm not going to answer them because I've answered them 1,000 times for podcasts, interviews, and all type of stuff.
Yeah.
People just want to know. And how would they know if you don't, like, if you're not open to telling them? Like, if you ask me, like, oh, how long you been in comedy? I'm like, oh, don't ask me that question. Like, okay, then don't say nothing then.
Yeah. And then guess what? If you end up being in a relationship with somebody and they're like, oh, my girl's a comedian. How long she been a comedian? I don't know. She don't like small talk. That's dumb. It's like
what are you even supposed to do at that point?
I don't understand, and I'm bothered by it because I feel like I see it more and more. Like obviously I haven't done a lot of online dating, but I hear a lot of women saying that, and I feel like it's just such a kiss off. I told her before she got my number, like, hey, if you're just gonna like ghost me because she only met one person, I was like, then just don't take my number. It's cool.
Yeah.
She's like, no. I was like, girl, you can't even get through me asking you about work, so obviously that's not going to work out.
The other thing that's so stupid about that for real is me and my husband been together a decade. What the fuck you think we talking about? I'm looking for small talk.
Right.
I'm like, put on a movie so we have something to discuss.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, otherwise we know everything about each other.
Right.
It's
There's
all
no.
small talk.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you brought up a very interesting thing that I wanted to ask you, anyways.
Okay.
Because I know you do a lot of like reviews and things
Okay.
like that on your YouTube. You guys should check that out for sure. But how do you feel? Because I feel like you'd be making your husband watch a lot of stuff with you that maybe he doesn't want to watch. It seems like some of the things he might not have been into. But do you feel some type of way about him watching things without you? Like, do you feel like, oh, we have to watch this together? Don't watch that without me.
It depends on what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So all the stuff that I be watching for you, like The Bachelor and stuff, my husband do not watch that. He does not watch it with me. In fact, I make my mom watch it with me or my parents. Like, I'll call them when the commercial come on and be like, what you think what happened? What you think? You know? So that's like the time me and my mom spends together specifically with me. But, you know, like Coming to America came out. I told my husband, do not watch it without me. And we watched it together. But it's only some things.
Do you feel like it's a super violation if he watches something without you?
I think
like,
he knows better.
No, he don't, really. Men do not be giving a damn. Like he like typically if I say don't watch it without me, he won't. Mm-hmm. But if he does watch it without me, then I just got a little attitude for like a day or so. You know, what am I gonna do? Or he'll be like, I'll watch it again, and then when we watch it again, he'll be like, oh, this part. What? This is good right here. I'm like, stop. You know.
Now he's ruining.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. But I feel Jasmine has an issue with this because if I watch anything, we have two different things that happen here. So like we do a lot of work during the daytime, obviously. Yeah. So nighttime, I told Jasmine after 7 p.m. when night falls, I'm not doing any more work. That's kind of how I feel about it. I know that's maybe not the best practice, but as much goes on from 6 a.m. till nightfall, after that, I feel like I should be able to bring it down. So I like to watch the things I like to watch, but Jasmine can't watch slavery, documentaries about information about black people being treated badly, movies. So she won't watch any of those, but that's the time.
Not at nighttime. It depends on how
watch
late
at night. But we don't have the daytime time for that. So then I have been waiting for a week and a half to watch.
Why can't you watch it without her?
Because she told me.
No, because I wanted to watch it. I want to watch it with her.
But you want to watch it during the day.
I want to watch it when it's not, like, we're not about to go to sleep. She been trying to turn the shit on after 12 episodes of Law and Order at 9:30 at night. Then she want to turn on black people getting oppressed and mutilated. And I'm like, I got to sleep with that on my spirit.
But you can sleep with Law and Order SVU?
Well, that's stupid.
That's white people. And it's made up.
Right.
I feel Jasmine on
I can't. Like we trying to watch, we were going to watch the Billie Holiday movie last night. Okay. But it was like 9:30. Yeah. And I was like, well, we can watch it. But I saw the preview. I wanted to watch it regardless. I wanted to see it. But then I saw the preview, and it was just like,
depression.
It was like, I can't with the even that imagery alone is just like PTSD or something. I'm like, okay, we can watch it. It's not as heavy as a slavery movie or as whatever. But I really would prefer not to watch it when I'm about to go to sleep because I'm very impressionable. I would have if I play the game too late, I would have a dream about the game.
Damn.
I had a dream I would rob this store, shot somebody, and went to jail because I played GTA too late.
So. No, I feel her on that. To watch specific stuff about black people, I have to be in the mood.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which takes a while to get through a lot of things. There's so much content out there.
We have so much to watch that we didn't miss. We still haven't watched the Central Park 5. We haven't watched
I've never seen that because it's emotionally tolling.
Yeah, see, some things I know, like if I know the story, I can't go back. Yeah. Like I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it. I feel like in a way, sometimes it feels very like fetishy for white people to me. Like looking like the movie making of it and they're looking at it like, You know, like
The good old days.
yeah. So like, part of me is like, I don't want to buy into it because like you've seen and we've all seen like during Black History Month or whatever on Netflix or any platform, you can pick one and everything is like oppression. But it's like we have other stories. You know what I mean? There's so many other movies.
It's so much
so many
because
narratives.
even if we have like just a regular story, it even stems back because that's such a huge part of our lives that nobody can escape it. But it's a lot, like on my soul, on my spirit. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm like, you know what? If we just get, I'd rather just watch y'all sell drugs like Snowfall. Like I'm like, okay, they just selling drugs, then they ain't really like they'll tap onto like the oppression or whatever, the racism, but it's mostly about selling drugs, and I can get through that. But we was watching the show with Regina King, and it was a lot of The Watchmen, and then what's that movie called? What's the show called with Neffy? What's her name? Neffy. Hippolyta. What's her name? Lovecraft Country. It was good as hell, but it was. So, like, I would be sitting there like...
Well, that's why they put in... I think that Lovecraft Country, and I watched it on my stories the other day, that sci-fi element helps you release the tension that you have.
Yeah. I fully agree. Because it was still so, like, you were still so engaged, but you didn't feel like that. Yeah. Fist balling up, like I'm about to go. You know what I mean? Like, you still got, like, you were okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I felt that in the first episode.
The first episode was woo!
But then, when the sci-fi comes, you release your fist. It's kind of like that nice balance between those two things.
They did play between those two worlds really well.
But speaking of that, my bad. So I know you do a lot of your Karen's behavior therapy and your microaggressions at work. Some of the comments you get, are they, I know you told me before that they're mostly like, how can I do better? Or thank you for posting this. But do you ever like, I don't know, get a bad one that make you go, like what?
Yeah. I've had, and you know what? The type of person that I am, it takes a lot for me to ignore those comments. Like I want to reply to those comments first because I'm petty and it triggers me. Yeah, I got the time.
It's very triggering. Like, what's the worst one since you've been doing it? Since it's been going like crazy viral that you have that you like that you remember that was like, okay, you know what? I just need to block this person because whatever's gonna happen. It's just not gonna be good. I don't want to get my page deleted or whatever. You know, TikTok is like, they don't play with that harassment.
I think Instagram is worse.
Oh, Instagram is terrible.
It's so bad. I don't know about the worst. Like, you know, you get people like, oh, this is racist or you're racist against white people or whatever, which is like absolutely ridiculous. Like, and impossible. But but also, I think when I did like the White House video, like on my videos, I like to eat snacks and stuff.
Oh, I love it. I live for the eating. One of Corvette. That is still one of my favorite White House videos to this day.
I love that one too, but. So I think a white guy had, and this wasn't even on my page. This was on like another page, like a popular or whatever who posted it. And he was like, "Oh, a black woman that's unprofessional eating unhealthy snacks at her desk. How stereotypical. This isn't comedy or anything like that. This is just playing into black stereotypes." And it was a white guy commenting on me playing a character that I relate to.
Right.
And he was telling me that it was racist and stereotypical for me to play this person that I created, that I relate to. And it just made me so mad.
Yes, obviously.
I hate that.
And it's kind of like, first of all, the snack being unhealthy, you're trying to, first of all, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it was.
Because you're not that unhealthy of a person.
No, I'm not. You vegetarian and all of that. Yeah.
Like, I eat grapes sometimes, nigga. You just happen to watch the one where I was eating Cheez-Its. Like, I was eating Cheez-Its, okay, and then you're saying I'm unprofessional, but I code switch. Right. So you see me be professional and you also see me be myself.
Right.
So the fact that you're saying myself is unprofessional also is kind of like a weird racist thing on your part. It's just like, it just made me so mad because I shouldn't even have to explain none of it or think about any of this.
And also, has he heard of a little thing called Hollywood? Because people write stories all the time that have black people stereotypical as hell. No, nobody say nothing about that.
Written by white white people.
Literally, no one said anything.
They're because they're not black. It's their perception of what they think blackness is.
Right.
Exactly.
Those are the worst. I hate Law and Order is good for that.
And don't
It's
ever
good
be
for that.
Really?
a white person coming to tell me how I, as a black person, am perpetuating racial stereotypes. Excuse me?
You don't know who I've seen, what I've dealt with, who I am as an individual. You don't know that a lot of us, some of us don't,
do it.
but a lot of us do code switch, and it'll get like that.
Yeah.
You know, it feels good to not be all uptight at work, and they do the same shit. You're not gonna talk to your boss the same way you're gonna talk to your friends.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't. You just shouldn't. And there should be a disconnect. You should be able to go home, let your hair down, be yourself, and be like, girl, this dude today.
Exactly.
You want to be like that to your boss? This motherfucking customer. I mean, I've done it before.
I do it. I definitely do it, but that's just because I don't care about that job.
Right. So,
I don't have too many scruples when it comes to
I
that.
had this thing to ask you. It goes back to like the relationship thing. So, in my experience, I'm on online dating too, dating a bunch of guys, and they don't give a fuck about small talk. They just gonna talk to you until they can get your pants off. They don't care. They gonna ask you the dumbest questions that's already there. How old are you? Even though they filled out the profile the same as you. It's so where you from? Oh, right here. Well, I'm from here. I know. I read your profile, and they still don't get the hint. Okay, so I've ran into this a lot, and I've noticed it a lot more on online dating or just in general. Anytime I have told a man, I am not interested, no, or I don't want to do that, I don't feel comfortable, I always get the, you know what, it's cool, I ain't really want nothing from you, you was just going to be my number 6, my number 10, you was just easy pussy anyway. I want to understand, and I only date black men, and it's so, I don't care what you say, but it's so disheartening for you to say that to me, a black woman who's always gonna have your back, just because I told you no. Like, what in the fuck is going on in your mind that because I just said no to you, that you have to disrespect me like that and try to purposely hurt me? Have you ever dealt with that? Like when you weren't dating your husband, which was 40 years ago or whatever.
Yeah. Well, how old is she?
I don't know. Black don't crack.
She's not old
Don't
enough
try
to
to
be dating
guess.
40 years.
Right. No, but I wanted to write jokes about this. Actually, I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget, there was this guy in Dallas, and he thought he was all of that. And his brother is an actor. Actually, I think his brother was on Insecure, and he's from Dallas. I don't know their names or anything like that. But I remember we were at this little event or whatever, or like maybe at a restaurant. It was somewhere out. And he had came up to me and asked me something, and I was like, no, I'm just really not interested. Not literally just completely not interested. Like, I don't remember you. Or I just really kind of like curbed him. And he was like, you'll never ride on 24s. You'll never ride on 24s, bitch. I got $5,000 in my bank account. And I was like,
not 5,000.
Okay.
And I was
like today?
sorry, he cussed me out.
Oh my God.
He went off on me. And I was like, all because I said that I wasn't interested or didn't remember you or whatever the case was. You did all of this. You made a whole scene in this public space. All because I hurt your feelings. And that's all it was. That's all it is to those guys as well.
Do you think it comes from not being, and it's so funny because guys will do that and then call women emotional. Yeah. And I just think that's such a contradicting statement. But do you think that comes from their lack of being emotionally like connected to themselves or like being in touch with their emotions? Or do you blame it on like, I don't know, this old ass thought that men run everything and they should just get whatever what they want?
Oh, I blame it 100% on insecurity. They don't feel good about themselves. So I think that men take a risk, an internal risk, not an actual risk.
Right.
It's an internal risk for them to ask you for anything.
Right.
And then, they fear that they're going to get rejected. And when they do, it's so emotionally tolling for them that they have to try to make you feel bad about themselves because they feel so bad about themselves.
That is so crazy. That's so crazy because then it's not just there because then they'll go ahead and be like, let's just say that maybe girls didn't really go for them. Maybe they were whatever reason. Maybe your personality is just trash and it got nothing to do with physical. And then they'll do this thing where one girl broke their heart when they were so young. Yeah. And then forever, women
are terrible.
to come have to pay for it.
Yeah. Yep.
What the fuck is that?
When they were 5.
Like
the girl that broke their heart when they were 5.
I'm saying, but you could be like they could be like 16, had their heart broken, and versus like, and I'm a woman who I was never guy's first pick, and I'm not upset about that. It is what it is. That doesn't stop me from trying. I ain't gonna be like, oh, all these dudes ain't shit, and every man got to pay for it because one nigga broke my heart and everything. It's just so funny that they think like you do all of that and then you claim to be one that can lead. That's supposed to be the backbone of the foundation of a family and stuff. But what the fuck is that? Like I don't understand.
Well, those guys can't lead. Those guys aren't the backbone of anything.
Right.
You know. And you know what? That's why I would honestly. It's of course, time consuming. You don't have to. Mm-hmm. But I'm a big proponent of being like, why do you feel like you have to disrespect a black woman just because I told you? No, I would ask them, and they would probably never answer you. They would probably block you.
I've done that. I've done that before because this guy, he was upset because he asked me those dumbass questions that was already listed. I was like, hey, before you ask me another question, because I answered the first one. Yeah. I was like, before you ask me another question that is listed on my profile, you should go ahead and read that. So you can come back with better questions. Yeah. And he went off the deep end, called me all types of, you think you a comedian, you ain't saying nothing funny, you just look funny, going on. And I said, wow, this is so crazy that all I did was just give you a recommendation that you felt that you had to disrespect me. Right. Where is this coming from? Why do you have to disrespect me? Right. No, because you was being a bitch and you a bitch and this, that. Yeah, so when I tried to, and I never disrespected him. Never did, because why? Yeah. You're obviously upset because whatever that, like you said, that internal risk that you thought you took by asking me this simple question, you thought that just I answered your question, it just wasn't what you thought it was going to be. Yeah. And you're upset about that when you don't have to be. Like, it's just, if you're not interested, if you thought that I was being smart, then just move on. Why do you have to go the extra mile to be disrespectful? When I ask you, why are you disrespecting me, then you turn it on me like I did something wrong.
Well, that's just what most people who are projecting their insecurities will do. Like, it's always going to be the flip of like, well, you know, it's like the lashing out. It's like a little kid. If you take something from a little kid, someone who hasn't learned to use their communication skills, who hasn't learned how to properly internalize their feelings and then respond in a way that makes sense, then yes, they're going to act out. It's going to be ridiculous. And it's like, thank you now for doing it now.
You know what I mean? Because
clearly, I don't need any parts of that.
Emotionally toxic. You're just toxic. And obviously, before y'all be like, we over here bashing men, we're not. We're talking about those who do that. So because
it's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful, and we're talking about our experience. Obviously, it's not all guys. We didn't say all guys. We're talking about the specific guys that do that. And if you feel like you're hurt or you feel
there's no reason for nobody to be hurt about none of this.
If you offended, you probably do it. So that's just moving on.
It's funny because you're talking about the way the guys are on, Hinge and everywhere else. But I never understand the comment from people specifically on dating websites where they're like, I'm not a good texter.
What is that? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I kind of get that.
Everybody texts though.
You can't be a bad texter and then also not want to talk on the phone though.
you gotta pick one. And also, but I don't have like a lot of time to just sit on the phone and just chat with you. So if I'm going to talk to you, like I can go back and forth. We can text throughout the day. We can do this or that. But what's crazy to me is if someone says that to you and then you're around them. And then they
text. They're always.
Man.
It's like so.
Or they go days without talking to you, and then expect for you to have put your plans like, we made plans. I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. Yeah. And we're supposed to go. No, we don't. We no longer have plans. That's my rule. You can't make plans with me and then not talk to me. How do I know I want to still go out with you? You haven't even dedicated any time to me. Mm-hmm. So no, we no longer have plans. If like literally, I tell people, if you want to hang out with me, like if you want to get to know me, you can't go more than 24 hours without speaking to me, without saying something, because I feel like that's inconsiderate.
See, I kind of feel like that's a lot.
No. I'm not saying have a
Me and my husband live together, and I go 24 hours without saying shit to him.
No.
In the house or
in the house.
You don't even say hello to me?
Morning.
That's what I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking about.
Cooking videos. I knew it was some real stuff in there.
Yeah, that's all I'm talking about. I'm not talking about in a full conversation. Hey, what's going on? All I'm saying is something. A good morning, a good night. That's it. We don't have to go there. Yeah. And then if we have plans for the day, and you don't tell me you're on your way, I'm not going.
Yeah.
You can't.
Or
you can't.
confirm like the night before.
Yeah, we're not going. Or you gotta confirm that day. I'm gonna be texting you like, are you on your way? And if you say yes, then I'm going to get in my car. Then go, because I'm never about to show up at a place and you're gonna leave me standing there like, well, I'm just waiting for someone. That ain't gonna be me. No. No, we ain't got to talk all day and night because 9 times out of 10 I don't want to talk to you. But you can't go 4 or 5 days without speaking to me at all. Long. That's crazy.
But I understand. Like, I would understand if me and my husband were dating,
right,
and I didn't hear from him yesterday. You know, like all day I didn't hear from him, and then today he's like, "Oh, I had such a busy day." Like,
well, that's fine, but like, even though you had that busy day yesterday, you probably went to the bathroom. You probably it's easy because I didn't see you post on your Instagram story and stuff. Now I get if you
much access to people. It's like at 12.
Like there's no excuse to me. Like if you're on set all day and then you just like crashed or whatever. Yeah. There's downtime on the set though. You're not filming nonstop all day every day, and maybe you're not thinking about your phone, but you need to tell me when you wake up. Hey, I'm gonna be on set all day, and if you don't hear from me, that's why. Yeah. And then tomorrow you better say good morning.
Jasmine, please. No.
She don't play that game.
No. Let me know that I'm important. How am I supposed to know I'm important if you don't make time for me?
No, that's true.
I can make time for you. I'm busy too. You ain't the only person that's busy.
So, okay, I have a question for y'all based on this.
Go ahead.
Because I want to know how much is too much. So, I do reaction videos to Married at First Sight on my YouTube. So, one of the guys on Married at First Sight, he'd been paired with some girl who's like 6 to 8 years younger than him. Damn. So he's 34 and she's like 26 or something like that. And she went out of town for a wedding. 4 days she was gone, and she said he expected her to text him every 2 hours.
Oh no!
Every 2 hours, he wanted to text her what she was doing. If she was okay. What is she up to while she's on
her vacation,
trip. Right. How much is too much?
Too much.
That's way too much. First of all, I don't even know when 2 hours has passed, so I'm gonna miss it. I am going to miss
set
it.
time for 2 hours.
Girl, and you know what though? But that's some
controlling.
narcissistic. Because one of my exes that I dated, same kind of thing. It was like I had to have like a regimen of like communication, or like the worst would be if we were in an argument and I'm like, okay, you're upset. I'm gonna give you some time. Wow, you give me time. You won't sit here and have a conversation with me right now. But it's like, but you said you don't want to talk right now. Yeah. It's that thing women do when they don't want you to leave, but they want you there.
Yeah,
it's that thing like I can't. So it's the thing.
Yeah, I'll be doing that.
I'll be like, you know what? I'm done, and I walk off, and I'm like, you really gonna let me leave? That's how I am.
It's such a weird thing, but it's like trying to figure out what somebody wants, and even if they ask you, every 2 hours, it's like, there's no way you're going to do it. And then you're going to be upset anyways because you're going to miss it. Yeah. And that is some toxic behavior to require somebody to talk to you by a certain time. Yeah. I mean, I know you have your thing.
No.
But I'm saying like every 2 hours you need to tell me.
I didn't say
give me an update.
Every 5 hours you got to give me a rundown of the day. Like that's crazy.
You'd have to set the timer like throughout the day.
Right. Yeah. I asked for the bare minimum. Like I should know that. You should know that I'm on your. I want to know that I'm on your mind. Right. Like give me the courtesy. Now I'm not. If you tell me I gotta text you every 2 hours, I'm gonna be like, okay, I gotta block you.
But also, if I tell you what I'm doing every 2 hours, when I get back from this trip, what are we gonna talk about then?
Exactly. That's a good point.
What are we gonna talk? Because it's like what you said, and like you're married, so you're in a different phase of a relationship, but it's still a relationship. Yeah. And it's still communication that goes on.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like active dating forever.
It is.
And it's like I don't get what we're supposed to communicate about if we don't do things outside of each other and then be like, whoo, because like you'll see those videos and like people all the time.
We don't do nothing outside of each other. I mean, we ain't in a relationship, but
well, I go to work sometimes.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
And then I come back and I tell you, because I do that with her a lot.
And you play video games, as Mina
right?
Mina don't care about my video games.
No, I listen to all your stories. Do I not? I sit here and she'll tell me about everything. She's like, well, this thing did this, and I'm like.
Somebody called me a nigga today.
Yeah.
That's video game.
Is that my voice?
Yeah, that's my impression of your voice. Somebody. Yeah.
Damn, I sound like that.
That is kind of how you sound.
But we as people, we need to like unload, and I think women, we just do it different, because when I come home, if I've had a day, I'll be like, don't move your hand like I was trying to hold you there, man. times, like when we used to live at our old house, I would get home mad late. I used to work at a bar, so I get home like maybe 3 and I go wake Jasmine up like, do you know these people 3 a.m.?
Oh,
She
first of
cold
all,
sleep.
wait, hold on, Jazz. One time, this is literally what Mina did. I'm gonna just reenact it for you. This is exactly what she did. This is exactly what she did.
Is the audio on? It was worried about that.
Yeah, Mina.
Okay, just
You're ruining it. I was going to check the time.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so I was asleep and Mina came. She cut the light on. And I was like, how was work? This is like shortly after my surgery. I'm all in her bed and shit.
Lord.
I'm like, how was work? And then she was just looking at me. And then she had this drink. She said, put it down. And then she had this joint. And she said, these motherfuckers. I was like, oh, Lord, hold on, let me sit up. I'm like, okay.
You know I was upset because I don't smoke.
You know
I don't
neither
smoke.
of us
So
smoke.
the fact that I
Hold on, if neither one of y'all smoke, where the hell did the joint come from?
So when
Okay.
when she was going through surgery and stuff like that, like to help her sleep because she couldn't like rest.
Okay.
Because
So-
I cold turkey off the painkillers and I wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to.
Yeah.
So to help with that, because I couldn't sleep at all. Because
Yeah.
I was up. So I got weed.
She got weed,
Yeah,
and so
okay.
the weed was there. Now I'm not,
Well,
I would
nobody
never
was
go for
fucking-
weed, but I was I would have been like anything at that time. Like I was so distraught. You know?
Oh my God.
I used to.
You got a crackhead lady too.
She was like sick. This was she was working at a bar in Van Nuys, and it was like 4 a.m. I'm like, are you okay?
It was terrible.
I don't even remember what she was talking about. But I
No,
know
it's
she
just
was
because
pissed.
working there. So one of the things that, and I'm a little off topic here, but one of the things that was bothersome working there was being in a predominantly like Hispanic place, which is fine. But I was the only black woman there. I'm talking there to drink, there at the club, anything. I was the only black woman there. And part of the issue with that is there's like this machismo that comes with Hispanic men, and they don't like listening to women. But they damn sure don't like listening to women of color.
Yeah.
And I kept running into issues with me telling them, no, we're closed, or you have to be cut off, or anything like that. And then it's always this thing.
Yeah.
And then they have to try to, cuss me out, get in my face. The women, same thing.
Yeah.
The women ready to fight me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm working at a bar, and I barely have security sometimes.
Yeah.
And I have to worry about women trying to fight me.
Yeah.
I was stressed.
Yeah.
I was highly stressed. And it was a 12-hour shift. That's
Yeah.
the longest shift you could ever be at a bar. So I would come home and I would just be like, and I was also working another job at the time. So I was working 6 hours in the morning or 5 hours in the morning and then 12 hours at night. And I was
have my alarms set.
I had to
for me
wake up
take
and give
my
her her
medicine.
drugs. And I was like, I was highly.
She was doing a lot.
Damn.
So so I did hit the joint, but that was a very unique situation. But
She was like Queen Latifah when she said
day
no. She said,
after day, seems like I was.
Listen, I don't smoke. I do not smoke, but I do have two, like weed pens in my car, and that's during the panorama. That's the only time. So sometimes, I'll be in my car. I'll be had a rough day, or me and my husband had an argument. I flip up my little console, and I'll be like, and then I'll be coughing. I'll be dying. Yeah, but that's why they've been in there for so long. Cause I don't smoke like. But every now and then.
But sometimes you just need something to take the edge off. I get it. Like, I'm not saying we should be out there doing heroin and meth and crack.
Sometimes alcohol is just too much.
Yeah, and you got time for a drink, you know what I mean? Especially watching calories or whatever. It's easier to just.
Watching calories.
Especially watching calories. Who watching calories? Calories is watching my ass,
Shoot. You know what? That is probably the truest thing I've ever heard in my life. Cause I want to pay attention to them, but I'll be like, I just know I'm like, that was too many calories.
Okay.
Like, I know in my mind, I know how many I burned during my workout. I'm like, I'm over. I'm over. I'm like, oh well, I still got to eat dinner.
Yeah,
Like, I can't skip a meal.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this is the portion where I am going to quiz you.
Okay.
And you will tell me if this person is a woman or if this person is a man.
Okay.
So I'm going to read the prompt to you.
Okay.
And then you can tell me who you think it is. So this one, the prompt is, I'll know it's time to delete Hinge when, and their response was, "I found the right one."
Hold on, FOUNT.
Yeah.
Do y'all have a name for this segment?
I haven't decided the name, but it's like do you remember, this is, okay, so I'm giving you a little behind the scenes thing, but like, do you remember, did you ever watch Jay Leno?
Yeah.
And he would do headlines?
Yeah.
I loved that as a kid.
Yes.
So it's kind of like my version of headlines.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what to call it. It's just like dating prompts that are like, what? You know, and like things that drive me crazy. So
I was gonna suggest a very stupid name.
I
It's a bad name, but
let me hear it.
I said maybe y'all could call it "Guessing the Sexin."
I have to put a theme song with that.
It's the smile with me. She's like, guess what he's texting?
She was so excited. I was excited. Anyway, okay. So you know you should delete. Okay, Hinge. Hinge is where is that where?
That's the name of the dating app.
Okay, that's okay. Men still supposed to talk to.
Yeah, it's women and men. So
You set your preferences.
Okay. So Hinge.
But so they give you writing prompts, so you don't have a dumbass bio that nobody care about.
Right.
Okay, so when I found the right one, I feel like that's a man.
You think so?
It's a woman.
Oh, she's stupid.
If you saw that,
Let me see her.
So you can only see part of it because I took.
She looked like she say found.
So if you saw that on a dating website, like what would be your first?
I would block her.
Okay, you can't block people on a dating app. Can you?
You gotta match with them first.
Oh,
I would block her before I match with her.
Okay, so this is another one. All right, so the prompt is, "Don't hate me if I," and then the response was, "Say I'm done, but don't mean it."
You said her, so I'm gonna say someone.
Did I say that?
Let me do it.
No, I got it.
Do it.
Okay, but how do you? Well, you said you do that, so you don't care about that.
Oh yeah.
You don't care.
And women be always saying that they done, and then be running back to the nigga
for years.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. The prompt is, the one thing I'd love to know about you is, and the answer is cook.
That's a man.
Is it? It's a man.
Of course.
It is definitely a man. But also, that's not even a sentence. That's not a
make no
question
sense.
either. The one thing I want to know about you is
Cook.
You cook me.
Caveman.
Okay, here we go. It says, don't hate me if I, and the answer is, make you fall for me too soon. Also, the you is like just a you.
Okay, that's a man because arrogance.
It is.
Yes,
it is 100% a man.
Yeah.
It is 100% a man. Okay, let me give you.
And don't hate me if I make you fall for me too. Shut your ass up.
Shut up. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more. All right. I'm not. Well, she can't see it. All right. So this one is. You should not go out. I want to fix it because I low key want you to read it yourself. I'm just gonna let you read it yourself because I feel like this.
Read it out loud.
Okay.
This needs to be.
Okay, you're having a
I got it. No,
You
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke. I just want to make it here for her. Okay, there you go. Read it aloud for us, please.
You should not go out with me if you looking to date or anything on that type vibe. I'm here, EYE apostrophe M. I'm here to network and shit. Nigga, no, you not here to network and shit. First of all, what is networking shit? This is a man.
It's not.
Oh my god. You here to network, bitch? I know you lying.
Oh.
Network on a dating app.
How did you spell it now?
EYE apostrophe M. I'm gonna add them in.
I'm here.
I'm here. I'm.
Which is actually way more work than I. And that don't make no sense. She's trying to say she woke.
Oh my gosh, I am here.
All right, now this is okay.
Oh
This
God.
is my last
That?
one. This is my last one.
Okay.
And this is just a picture, and I just want you to tell me
First
if this
of all,
picture is from a woman or from a man.
I be forgetting y'all gay.
Who is y'all?
I'm the gay half of this duo.
Who is y'all? Why does she keep saying this?
Well, y'all not gay. Y'all are bisexual. Okay. I mean, just for the heck of these. To me, they look like traditionally masculine feet. I can't really tell how big they are.
It could be a stud.
That's what I was saying. So maybe it's a woman. Just
It is. It's a stud.
It's a stud.
But also, what is this? Why is there a gold anklet over the socks?
Over the socks.
That's the issue that I'm having. And also,
Is those
where
baseball socks?
I
just sometimes want to tell studs sometimes you do not have to try that. Like nobody cares. Nobody's judging your fashions that much. Like I feel like studs feel like they, as women, we feel like we have to be put together.
Right.
Take some of the pressure off of yourself because the Gucci, I think these are Gucci or Louis Vuitton. These look fancy. And then the socks with the anklet
over the sock though.
And then the pants are rolled up to a T. It's like it's relax. I know you want to look cute, but relax, you know.
Bring it down. Yes, it was 100% a stud. I should have saved like the actual picture so you could see everything.
Damn.
But yes, okay, so that is our what was your name?
Guessing the Sexton.
Guessing the Sexton. That concludes Guessing the Sexton.
And this segment is called Did You Know About These Negroes? Okay, so this is the
we're gonna learn. This is our Black History.
This is our Black History
Jasmine.
fact from me. I want to do an easy one. I went ahead with George Washington Carver. Guys, he did not invent peanut butter. That is a myth. He has never invented peanut butter.
But wait, he did invent peanut oil.
He did. He invented a lot. He has over 300 inventions with peanuts. And
yes.
He has over 118 inventions with sweet potatoes. And he also told, because at one point in the South, like in Georgia, the soil wasn't growing cotton well. So he was the one who was like, well, if you fertilize it with sweet potatoes and peanuts and something else, then it will put nitrogen back into the soil, and you can get your crops growing back together. Because
hold on, he perpetuated slavery.
I was like, wait a minute.
No.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What did he do?
So
What did he do?
that part was after slavery, but Mr. George Washington Carver, he was born a slave,
right?
But he was kidnapped from his mother and sold somewhere else, and he was raised by these white people, and they taught him how to read and all of that. He was a very intelligent man. We all know him to be very intelligent. They were afraid that he was going to mate with his daughter, so they castrated him. So George Washington Carver has no penis, guys. He does not have. He didn't.
And
have
he was still inventing stuff.
Yes, but he was castrated at a very young age. They won't tell you that. Even if you look it up, you won't find it. I even tried to fact check it. But listen, this is my Pan-African Studies. This is straight facts.
How'd you find it?
This was my Pan-African Studies class. It was I can't remember what documentary we watched on George Washington Carver. But yes, he was castrated. Even if you hear the recordings of his voice is very high pitched because he did. It was gone. It was all gone. Cause they right. Okay, so we going on. He was kidnapped in birth. And He was known as the peanut butter man after. They thought he invented peanut butter, but he didn't. He did all the 300 and different inventions with peanuts, like plastics, paints, dyes, medicinal oils, soap, ink, wood, and 118 from sweet potatoes like molasses, stamp glue, flour, vinegar, types of gasoline, and synthetic rubber. He also figured that peanuts would cure polio, which is why he's known as the Peanut Man. He did a lot of inventions, a lot of research on peanuts.
Does that still hold up if you have a peanut allergy?
I guess not. Also, he studied a lot of plants. That is what George Washington Carver was. He was I don't know how to say the word. Is it
botanist?
Botanist.
Oh, a botanist.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He learned that like when plants pollinate, they don't just pollinate like one plant. You know, it's like a mass pollination, which is how we get like those big factories or power plants. Okay. They call them power plants. That term was from George Washington Carver
because of the way that plants pollinate.
That's impressive. Also, something that I learned from this is without a dick, men can do so much good. So much good if you're not fucking. Right? I feel like that was the moral of this.
So instead of, and I looked this up, so instead of them saying outright how he was castrated, because they don't want to say that, how they were forcibly castrated, this young man, they are trying to force the idea that he was either gay or bisexual,
or asexual
or whatever. So if you look it up, even if you type in George Washington Carver castration, and I can show you, it'll say homosexual, bisexual, which is in the instance you can't really be any of those things because you can't reproduce. He can't reproduce. He can't have any type of sexual encounters with anybody, even if he wanted to, because they don't even have a desire because it's gone. It's just gone. It's the testosterone. It's gone.
Well, there are some other things.
I mean, you can do other things, but I'm saying, but there was never any desire because it was gone.
I mean, but
you can do.
I'm not saying that
we don't know if he
gay,
was gay.
I don't think he was gay necessarily. I don't know.
You don't.
But if you were castrated and you just weren't really into it,
because there's no desire.
Yeah, because
then how could you be anything?
And like not even like. We're just talking about his penis being removed, but like the shame and humiliation,
and then not
and
feeling
everything that comes with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's humiliating.
The family was so afraid that because he was smart and he was like an attractive man, that they were going to, mind you, he was kidnapped and sold to these people.
Yeah.
And they took him and then they raised him or whatever, that he was going to sleep with their daughter that they castrated.
And the thing about it is, if he had slept with your daughter and reproduced with her, he would have did y'all a goddamn favor, because we don't know y'all's name,
right?
And y'all would have probably had a smart ass little baby, but instead you're too busy being racist and hateful and evil to reproduce.
They probably all got peanut allergies.
We don't even know his born name, but when he got the name George Washington Carver, that wasn't his name.
Yeah.
The family that owned him name was Carver. So they would call him Carver's George, which they flipped it around. Now it's George Carver.
Damn.
Yeah. So
and that's why we can't listen. That's why we can't research shit late at night. Cause now look, now I got a penisless George Washington Carver running around in my dreams.
I knew y'all didn't know that. When I found that information, I was so upset. And then I'm like, y'all trying to say that this man invented peanut butter when he invented so much more.
All of the things.
Like literally endless inventions from plants, like from vegetables, from nuts. How do you invent glue and all of this from sweet potatoes?
Amidst slavery.
Right.
With no books, science,
like.
Or he did a lot of stuff. He was way more than peanut butter. He literally has never invented the creamy peanut butter that we know and love. That is not him. I don't know who the fuck that is. It is not George Washington Carver. Stop telling little kids that the man invented peanut butter, and then he don't even mean nothing to little black kids with peanut allergies, because this man could kill me. Like, what the fuck? Wow. He did not invent peanut butter, people.
Let's get that straight.
Kill it. He did not do that.
But without George Washington Carver, I know it's not a good example because they're homophobic and racist, but ChickfilA would not exist because that's what they fry all their shit in.
Peanut oil. There you go.
Well, apparently ChickfilA has doubled back on their
homophobia
and racism. That's what they said.
I heard they donate money to churches overseas that try to do whatever
castration.
No, like therapy for like
shock therapy.
Gay therapy.
Yeah.
First of all, that's a waste of time and money.
I don't know why they sending that money over there. Put it into the chicken. We need more chicken. I've never been to a Chick-fil-A drive-thru that was not jumping. And
also,
I'm talking
did y'all know that the relaxer was invented by a slave?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he was in there.
Chemical.
Yeah. Acid.
Basically. We had time.
We did.
They just were trying to stop.
They had time. We definitely had
They didn't want us to be great.
Man, still don't.
Yeah, I mean, what year is it?
2021.
Jesus. Well, thank you, Jasmine, for what did you call your corner?
Did you know about these Negroes?
Did you know about these Negroes?
With Jasmine.
I just made it up.
Thank you. Well, it's a decent title. I like the new working titles.
Yeah.
You were watching the show evolve. So
there it is.
That's great. We're going to have a little billboard. Did you know these Negroes? And I'll do a song or something.
Well, okay. Jasmine.
I'm kidding.
What can we look forward to, like any projects you have coming up? Or shows or whatever?
I don't really have nothing coming up at the moment. You know?
You just
like
always
working on nothing?
No, because let me tell you something. Jasmine is posting so much. And I know we're about to get out of here, but I just had to ask. The other Jasmine told me you did work in HR before.
Yeah, I did.
So that's kind of like...
And she helped me with my thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Your inspiration for your character and just like things you've seen. Do you feel like... Did you deal with a lot of stuff where you felt like those were your reactions with like how you do your videos, or is it more so just like this is what I wish I would have been able to do
Yes,
in these situations.
most of the time it's what I wish. It's all of what I dealt with. But most of the time, like, I didn't really have the courage either to stand up for myself a lot of the time. So I didn't, sometimes when you watch my videos and I'm standing up for myself, it's not actually what I really did. The videos that are more like me, well, it's like a mix between standing up for myself and then the videos where I do the inner me, to where my inner me is like, bitch, what the, like, going off. It's a mix between those two. So, but yeah, I did work in HR, and I seen a lot, sexism, racism stuff. Not as much as I think other people, and not as much, like, a lot of the videos are a combination between my experience, people that I know, whether it's my spouse, my family, my friends, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, working in HR, I actually kind of liked it. It's not my passion. It's not something I'm passionate about. So I'd rather be doing.
I don't like small talk. You can stop talking about it.
Okay.
That's what we call in the biz a callback.
Yeah,
that is a callback.
Professionally done. Very, very well. Well, you can find Jazmyn W on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just Jazmyn W, right?
It's Jazmyn JW.
What's the
Jazmyn
J stand
JW.
for?
That's my middle name.
What's the J?
Listen, y'all don't need to know everything. I'll tell you after. Okay.
You can find her on YouTube under Jazmyn W, I believe.
It's comedian Jazmyn W.
W.
Well, let her say it if you don't know it.
Let's start over. Jasmine, where can people find you online?
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at JAZMYNJW.
Okay.
And on YouTube at comedian Jazmyn W on YouTube.
That's with a Z, guys.
Yes.
Yes. Don't forget that Z, because you will not find
That's
her. You'll
important.
find another
Some weirdo.
culturally appropriating Jasmine somewhere. Not you.
My dad
I
almost
didn't even
spelled.
look at you.
My dad almost spelled my name just like yours.
Yeah,
We would
really?
have been twins.
My dad probably almost spelled my name because he was looking for a different way to spell it.
Mine
There you
too.
go. That Z is definitely different.
Yeah,
it
It
is.
is.
And the Y, a lot of people don't.
Why they don't know? They don't know about
That's
that.
true.
Y.
I had never
Yeah.
seen the Y until I met you guys.
Yeah.
That was a new thing. to
We
me.
out here.
You are. Well, thank you guys again for joining us for another episode of It's
Two
the
Jasmines and one
Disrespect,
Mina.
though. That is not the name of the I mean, we could do it. I mean, she's so busy though. But thanks for joining us for the what is
The
it?
podcast.
Now I don't know what it's
It's
called
the
anymore.
disrespect, though.
It is the
It's the
disrespect, though.
I'm
She-
Jasmine.
I'm Mina, and thank you guys for
And
coming today.
that's Jasmine. Bye.
Bye bye. Hey, it's Jazz and Mina, and we're doing crazy stuff. Hey, it's Jazz and Mina, you know you can't get enough.
Yeah.